Scott Bessent is an openly gay man, and he's married to another man. They have children, but he carries water for a party overflowing with self-hating, closeted homosexuals and Christian nationalists like Tennessee Republican Andy Ogles, who forced to take down a tweet yesterday that read, "There is no room inside the Republican Party or America for homosexuals." The Washington Post reporting that Ogles is now insisting, "I didn't post the tweet. One of my staffers did." So Scott Bessent is messed up in the head, not because he's gay, but because he's a gay man surrounded by homophobes, and he tends to get violent. You might remember we talked about his shoving match with Elon Musk right outside Donald Trump's Oval Office early last year. Bessent walked up to Elon Musk after a meeting about tariffs. Bessent said, "You're a fraud. You don't know what you're talking about." And he struck a rugby pose, according to all reports, and just ran into Musk, and they began wrestling right outside Donald Trump's office. According to reports in Politico last September, Scott Bessent confronted Bill Pulte, our new director of national intelligence. He confronted Pulte inside an exclusive Washington, D.C. club that was hosting a dinner for Trump's top advisors. And after, I guess there were a couple of drinks, I would assume there were a couple of drinks, Bessent threatened to punch Pulte in the face for bad-mouthing him to Trump. Pulte at the time was director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Now he's also acting director of national intelligence. According to Politico, Pulte at this dinner walked up to Scott Bessent to make casual conversation, and Bessent laid into him with expletive-laced threats, saying, quote, and I'm not going to say the words, but you know what, he said, "Why the F are you talking to the president about me? F you, I'm going to punch you in your effing face." So in 1 year, Bessent got into it with Musk and got into it with Bill Pulte. At one point, according to Politico, Scott Bessent wanted to take it outside. During Bessent's testimony before the Senate Finance Committee yesterday, North Carolina Republican Senator Thom Tillis asked, quote, "Did you actually threaten to punch Bill Pulte in the face?" And Bessent responded, "No, sir, I actually said I was going to kick his ass," unquote. And Thom Tillis said, "Good, I share the emotion." And I'm sure Candace Owens and Rick Sanchez are having a field day with news that Scott Pelley just got fired from 60 Minutes after challenging the qualifications of 60 Minutes' new executive producer, Nick Bilton. During an all-hands-on-deck staff meeting for 60 Minutes, Scott Pelley questioned Bilton's qualifications to run 60 Minutes, and then, in front of everybody, accused the new head of CBS News, Bari Weiss, a devout Zionist. He accused her of attempting to murder 60 Minutes. In the past 2 weeks, Bari Weiss fired 2 other 60 Minutes correspondents because they stood up to her after she tried to tone down an expose on that El Salvadoran torture chamber ICE is sending detainees, including Abrego Garcia. Remember, Abrego Garcia was accidentally rounded up by ICE. Garcia has since made it back to the United States, and Bari Weiss took her sweet time on allowing 60 Minutes to do their expose on the El Salvadoran torture chamber. Nick Bilton was hired to run 60 Minutes. Like Bari Weiss, he has no background in broadcast journalism, and Bari Weiss is continuing to come under attack for her conservative, pro-Israeli leanings, as well as her intent to further the corporate interests of this turd, David Ellison, the new owner of CBS News, and he's soon to be the owner of CNN. David Ellison. Turd is the son of turd billionaire Larry Ellison, who made billions and billions of dollars through Oracle software. And this is why the turd, David Ellison, will fail. He's just the son of. He's a Nepo billionaire. And he's going to fail and bring everyone down with him. He's already destroyed The Late Show. Got the number one show on late night television. This turd, David Ellison, destroyed it, even though it was making money. And I don't have time to go over it, but I can show you that it was making a lot of money, but he caved to pressure from Donald Trump because he's a cowardly turd who needs his father's money to move ahead in life. And so they destroyed the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and now they're destroying 60 Minutes. Daily Beast, by the way, is reporting CBS Late Night used to be the number one show in its time slot up until last week when they got rid of Colbert. The new host, Byron Allen, and his show Comics Unleashed is scoring only 628,000 viewers. That is a 65% drop in probably 7 days since Colbert left. In the coveted 18 to 49 demo, he's only got 82,000 viewers. Good work, turd. David Ellison spending your father's billions. You're not a man, David Ellison. You're not a real man. Anybody who is the son of a billionaire and needs his father's billions to justify his existence is not a man. You're a turd, David Ellison. And so are you, Bari Weiss. Not a good one for Trump. Trump was hoping to host a big celebration for his 80th and the nation's 250th birthday. That would be next month. Gala after gala. The National State Fair was going to be called. They scheduled gala after gala in front of the Capitol building. It's been turned into an even bigger disaster than the one he had planned. So what's the headline about the gala? Milli Vanilli canceled. Right. Like, I think, he's just effing with us, right? They booked Milli Vanilli, not the ones who got busted. This is like when you look at the lineup, it's a cognitive test to see how much you can remember from the 1980s or the 1970s. So they didn't book Milli Vanilli, the ones who got busted for lip syncing. They booked the ones whose voices Milli Vanilli were lip syncing to. Nobody wants to see them. We want to see Milli Vanilli lip syncing. So they were scheduled to perform one of the nights of the big gala, but they ended up canceling because nobody ever bothered to ask them if they were available. I mean, obviously they were available, so they just got booked by the Trump administration. The Trump administration never bothered to ask them. They just scheduled them. Do you have any idea of the level of incompetence? First, to book the vocalists behind Milli Vanilli and not Milli Vanilli, thinking people want to see the vocalists behind Milli Vanilli. So that's the first level. And then you go 10 levels down because they never bothered to ask. They just put them on the bill. And they said no. They don't want to be any part of it. Bret Michaels from Poison canceled. Morris Day, I love Morris Day from The Time. He said he didn't know he had been booked, but said no thank you. Young MC, here's the cognitive test. Remember Bust a Move? You want it, you got it. Young MC, he canceled. The Commodores canceled. I don't know if it's the Commodore computer where Bill Gates built MS-DOS or the Commodore's singing group. CC Music Factory canceled. Everybody Dance Now. Everybody. I don't want to get dinged by that corporate. Everybody Dance Now. Remember that? Look, I love all their music, but this was back in the 80s, the 70s. These are the people working the rest home circuit where Trump should be living right now. Martina McBride said McNo. One good piece of sunlight, Vanilla Ice, said yes. but he's already been scheduled to work as an usher during the event, so he figured, why not get up and stage and sing? Milli Vanilli, no. Vanilla Ice said yes. Maybe one of Milli Vanilli will do a duet with Vanilla Ice. They'll call it Milli Vanilla. No. Trump is furious. He wants to cancel he wants to cancel our nation's 250th birthday because nobody wants to perform for him. He said last night, I'm not making this up, he said, forget it, cancel everyone, and I'll perform. I swear he said this. He said, not making this up, he said, I'm bigger than Elvis. Well, maybe fatter than Elvis. He said, I can sell more tickets than Elvis. Yes, because Elvis is dead. And you're not selling tickets. All your events are free, Donald. You've never charged anyone to come see you perform. Meanwhile, members of our military were ordered to show up to the event. But Pete Hegseth said, no fatties. You have to be in shape to be ordered to show up for what they're calling the Great American State Fair. It's 2 consecutive weekends in the middle of June in Washington, D.C. to celebrate Trump and America. And now nobody knows if it's going to happen. Nobody knows. Shelby Talcott and Eleanor Mueller from Semaphore are out with an exclusive report detailing the decision-making behind Trump's new choice for Director of National Intelligence, Bill Pulte. According to Semaphore today, Roger Stone, remember Roger Stone? He was pardoned by Trump during the first administration. He was convicted of witness tampering, that Roger Stone. He was pushing for Bill Pulte. According to Semaphore, he was pushing for Bill Pulte to become Director of National Intelligence because, as a loyal pit bull, Pulte, or Pit Pulte, according to Stone, Bill Pulte will release any classified documents that Trump or Republicans need to embarrass their political enemies. That's his only qualification for the job. Bill Pulte is willing to obey illegal orders. Bill Pulte never served in our nation's military, but he witnessed horrible fighting among family members battling for his cut of an inheritance estimated to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And Pulte, from what I've read, ended up with the entire inheritance. I think he had 15 brothers and sisters or stepsisters, and he got it all. Just the kind of self-made man Donald Trump is very comfortable being around. This is the guy who Trump has made Director of National Intelligence. He's going to be acting Director of National Intelligence. No way he's going to get confirmed. No way. But he's going to be acting Attorney General until about January 25th of 2027. Pulte's grandfather created one of America's largest home building corporations, and Bill Pulte ended up as the sole heir. According to the New York Times, Pulte owns several trailer parks badly in need of repairs. This is according to the New York Times, he's a glorified slumlord, basically like Jared Kushner. The Kushner family is notorious for the slums that they run. I think in Baltimore. I think they own a lot of slums in Baltimore. So while Bill Pulte has zero intelligence experience to speak of, he is pretty good at keeping secrets. The biggest secret being his qualifications to serve as Director of National Intelligence. He could be the most unqualified member of Trump's cabinet, and that's saying a lot. That's an incredible accomplishment. Well, his only qualification is loyalty to Donald Trump. During Bill Pulte's brief tenure as head of the Federal Housing Administration, instead of working to alleviate the housing shortage or prevent a mortgage crisis like the one that triggered the financial meltdown in 2008, Pulte broke the law, rummaging through the private mortgages of Trump's enemies. And Trump thinks Pulte will do the same exact thing with our nation's classified documents. He's going to be the new director or acting director of national intelligence. And Donald Trump, thinks he's going to handle classified documents the way Donald Trump wants them to be handled. And as we all know, Donald Trump has a storied history of showing nothing but the utmost respect for our classified documents. Let me refresh your memory. In July of 2021, that's when Biden was president, Trump was still holding on to those classified documents, boxes of classified documents that he kept in Mar-a-Lago, but he would bring his classified documents with him, kind of like a security blanket. And there's audio of Donald Trump waving classified plans for an invasion of Iran. It's on audio. He's waving plans to invade Iran in 2021 in front of friends and strangers. Somebody was writing a book about his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, a reporter Trump didn't know. And it's on tape. Complete strangers at his Bedminster, New Jersey golf club in July of 2021. He's waving, look at this, I got plans to invade Iran. He said, it's on tape. Some of you might remember it. He said, I probably shouldn't be showing you this. It's classified. Yeah, you think? Classified documents to invade Iran. Why would it be against the Espionage Act to show strangers classified plans to invade Iran? It's not like we're ever going to invade Iran. Secretary of State, National Security Advisor, and destroyer of foreign aid, Marco Rubio, testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Tuesday, and then a House Appropriations Committee Tuesday afternoon as Congress begins planning our government's 2027 federal budget. This was Marco Rubio's first testimony since Trump and Israel launched their failed bombing campaign against Iran on February 28th. At one point in his testimony today before the Senate, New Jersey Democrat Cory Booker asked Rubio, quote, "You keep saying we're winning the war in Iran." And Rubio interrupted, No. It's over. We won the war. It's over. And Booker shouted back, the war is not over. During questions, and it's amazing that Rubio said it was a war because that creates legal problems for Donald Trump if he wants to resume the bombing campaign without getting a war authorization from Congress, because he's been calling it an excursion, not a war. But Rubio testified calling it a war. During questions from Democratic Senator from Connecticut, Chris Murphy, Rubio was asked why Trump is still blockading the Strait of Hormuz. And Rubio said, quote, "If Iran is going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for everybody, we're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for them." That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about the war in Iran and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Marco Rubio testified on Tuesday that, quote, "If Iran is going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for everybody, we are going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for them." And that is literally why the Strait of Hormuz is closed right now, and you're paying close to $6 for a gallon of gas, and millions more on this planet are starving in the sub-Saharan and Asia. If Iran is going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for everybody, we are going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz for them. In other words, if there's nothing Donald Trump can do to get the Strait of Hormuz opened, then we're going to be the ones who close it. It is the most flawed strategy in military history. You might as well be saying, Iran doesn't have ballistic missiles that can reach Chicago, so we're bombing Chicago for them. There is no difference.